Hey guys, it's Gracie, and today I am back again with another YouTube video. Today I am going to be talking about my experience working at Cedar Point. I kind of just wanted to get on here and talk about it, things you need to know if you plan on working there, things that I wish I knew. I basically applied and then filled out like all the paperwork that they kept emailing me, and then basically like just drove up there clueless. It wasn't as scary once I got used to it, and it actually became like the most fun summer ever. So if you are debating or on the fence about working there, I would. I worked as a ride operator, so I can't tell you how the experience would be for somebody like in foods or merchandise. We had the same living situation and got like a lot of the same like perks, I guess. My job itself was where I was spending most of my time. This video is going to be a general like experience working at Cedar Point video, basically like the more general thing. This doesn't matter what job you're in, all of this applies. I'm gonna make a separate video about my experience being a ride operator specifically. So if you are planning on working at Cedar Point in games, merch, food, whatever, this video is still good for you. To keep this video organized, I on my phone basically wrote like notes on like things I need to talk about. If you are planning on being a ride operator, stay tuned for my ride operator specific video because it will be more in detail. First thing I'm going to talk about is moving in, living at the dorm, the whole process. So basically, once I got all my paperwork filled out, I got like emails saying like, okay, when do you want to start? I said about a week after we open. So I moved in on May 7th. I basically just got all my stuff packed up, drove up there, and I went to the place called the recruiting center. I parked in the wrong spot the first time I went there, but I quickly realized where I should have parked. Basically, the recruiting center is a small building, and then there's a big parking lot behind it, and that's where the employees park. So you're basically an employee at that point. You can just park there when you first get there. I went into the recruiting center and basically filled out paperwork, got information, and they made me sign up for like a diversity training. So it was basically my first thing I needed to do. Then they were like, okay, you can go to housing. So then there's a bridge across the street, and there's the housing office. Everything's pretty close to each other. I mean, there's a road separating the recruiting center parking lot and then the housing, but you park, like if you're living at housing and bringing your car, and like I'm going there, I would park just in the recruiting center thing and then walk to my house, my very small dorm room. It's fine. It really wasn't that bad. I went to the housing thing and they basically told me, they gave me a key, told me where to go, and I basically parked my car at housing. You can do it for like a little bit while you're moving in. And I just took all my, I was alone, I didn't know anybody, so I just took all my stuff and moved into my room. I lived in Valraven. I mean, it's okay. I mean, none of the dorm rooms are too incredibly amazing. I will say if you're a female, Gatekeeper is an all-female dorm, and it only has 3 people in the dorms rooms, and that gives you a lot more space. They give you a lot more space in the rooms too. So if you're a female, you can try to get in Gatekeeper, which is more room. I lived with 3 other people, which was fine. There was 4 of us total. We all got along. I had roommates switch throughout the year just because like people moved out, quit, whatever, but it was fine. There was no like real issues or anything with the housing. But I basically moved in. You have bunk beds. It's like you have bunk beds, and then the other side's like lockers, and then you have like a little hallway. You have like drawers under your bed. I will say, like, I watched a lot of videos talking about like what to pack and stuff, and they were like, pack like nothing, you have no room. I disagree. I think like you can make it like cute in your room like a little bit. Like I had stuff hanging on my walls. I had like a flag like over my bed. It gave me more privacy. I had a rug. I had like this little like cute like storage ottoman thing, small, but like you can. I overpacked like a lot just so I could keep my stuff in my car that I didn't want, and I live in Ohio. I'm 2.5 hours away from Cedar Point, so my parents at some point were gonna come and visit, basically just giving them everything I don't want. If you do have a car, it's fine if you overpack because you can just keep things in your trunk. It's not really a big deal. Let's say you're spending most of your time at the park or wherever you're working. You're really only in your room to sleep. That's up to you on how much you want to bring, but you can bring more if you're into that kind of thing. For some reason, I worked 5 days a week and I had weekends off. I actually had a phone call with somebody before I like started working there, and they asked me what days I went off, and I told them Saturday, Sunday. Everybody else for some reason worked 6 days a week, so their checks were obviously nicer. They were getting paid more, but I had weekends off, and then on weekends like I would go. I actually bought a gym membership at the gym up there. It was called Tim Dorsey Fitness. Like if you're into working out, I bought a gym membership, so I spent time there like when I wasn't working. There are things to do. Like if you have a car, you can like, I mean, really just go anywhere. Like there was one time my friends and I, we took a trip to Cleveland and Akron, Port Clinton. So there are things to do. Like you'll get close with so many people at that point. Like you guys as a group will just be like, let's go to blah, blah, blah. Because In the summer at Cedar Point, your only like obligation really is to work. So if you're not working, everybody's free. So that was pretty nice. Totally like got off track. I had this split up organized. Yeah, I just ramble, so I guess the sections aren't very great. Think of me as your friend, just talking to you about my experience, because I'm a mess, okay? The next thing was what you should bring. Basically, essentials. I brought this like squishy mattress thing to go over the mattress because I think the mattress is uncomfortable. I slept like a baby every night because I had like 2 layers of sheets. I had my comfortable mattress thing, a sheet on that, a blanket under that, my comforter. I slept on top of my comforter every night and then just had a fuzzy blanket. I brought my fan, which was nice. I brought a fridge. Some rooms have fridges, some rooms don't. But I did end up bringing a fridge after I was there for a couple weeks. Since I did have weekends off, I traveled like home. So one weekend I traveled home, I brought a fridge back. And it was nice. You know, I honestly slept really good, but it was also because I worked long hours, so I was always super tired and like fell right asleep. Bathroom situation, I was at Valraven and I honestly thought the bathrooms were pretty nice. They clean them often and everything. Wear shower shoes, obviously. To me, that's like an obvious thing just because you're in a public restroom. So I wore like these like shower shoes basically. And then I just had like a little, I would bring like one of those like Lululemon bags, like a big one. And I'd put my shower stuff in it, towels, and my change of clothes. And I showered nice, like it wasn't like a mess. There was never all the showers taken at once. Like they were pretty much all open at all times. Everybody was showering at different times, I guess. The bathroom situation definitely was nice. My room was kind of close to the bathroom too, so like if I had to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, it was fine. Transportation and parking. If you're bringing a car, like I said, there's a parking lot by the recruiting center and you just cross like the bridge over the road to get to housing. So you can't park your car at housing basically, but it's like a 2-minute walk. Less than that. You literally just cross the bridge and you're right there. If you are taking your car, it's nice because again, if you overpack, you can keep your stuff in there. You can drive to work every day, which is nice. Also, like you never feel trapped. Like if I wanted to, like let's say I got off early on a Friday, I would drive home Friday, see my family, because I was 2.5 hours away, and then Sunday night I'd come back, or Monday morning if I didn't work early, I would come back. So it was nice having a car because you didn't feel trapped. Also, like, you know, like I said, I had the gym membership. There was like a little mall. I was in it like once. It was kind of small, but it was fine. I'd get like Chipotle some days. You know, they had like basically like every restaurant within 10 minutes. It was not like an issue. Now, I live right now like at home. I live in the country. So to me, like living in Sandusky, I was like, oh, I'm by everything. I'm in the city. So it was nice. If you're from like a bigger city, you're gonna be like, man, there's nothing to do here. But for me, I thought it was fine. It was nice. I drove to work every day. So like if I worked at 8:45 a.m., which was when a lot of the ride operators got there, I would get up at 7:45. So I'd wake up an hour before I had to be there. So if I worked at 8:45, I got up at 7:45. If I worked at 8:30, I got up at 7:30. If I worked at 4 p.m., I mean, I'd already be up, but essentially I'd start getting ready at 3 p.m. The only reason it took like me an hour, like getting there a little bit early, because you had to walk like to your job location. So I'm Corkscrew, so if we pull up a map, Corkscrew's in the middle of the park pretty much, so I have to like 15-minute walk, you know. So I'd get up and I would just go change in the bathroom and everything because I had roommates and I was weird about that stuff. So I'd change, get ready, have a book bag. I would bring a book bag to work every day. Pretty much all ride operators did. Just like a change of clothes in case you get off early, you want to ride rides. That's important. Extra socks in case it rains. You have a rain jacket they give you. I would bring that. Snacks, a water bottle is like essential. Like if you're a ride operator or honestly anybody, bring a water bottle. And then I would just walk to my car, get in my car and drive. And then obviously we had our own employee parking lot and you just scan in and it was pretty easy. Get up like an hour. You don't want to like rush. You never want to rush because the causeway, which is like the road to Cedar Point, might be busy. So you want to just give yourself a good time. Then once you park your car, you still have to walk up to security. Basically, they just check your bag and you walk through. And then you're in the park at that point. So then it just kind of depends on where your ride is. And then you can clock in, blah, blah, blah. You walk a lot. So if you're eating healthy too, I mean, you probably lose a little bit of weight. If you're like me and you eat like all of the Cedar Point food, then you're probably not gonna lose weight, but it's fine. If you do not plan on bringing a car, or you're like, let's say you're living in Colorado and you're flying and living at Cedar Point, then obviously you're not going to have a car. You can't bring your car in the airplane. Anyway, they do have public transportation for like the employees. It's so common that employees do that. Honestly, a lot of my friends that had cars there still took the bus to work just to save on gas. And it's like schedule. The bus is literally right outside of the housing. So you literally just wait, get on the bus, and everybody goes to work. It's a bunch of employees that do it. It's cool. It's fine. Give yourself extra time for that just because you'll get on the bus and you might have to wait like an extra 15 minutes for everybody else to get on. So just give yourself more time to get there if that's the case. Cedar Point also gives you access if you have your Cedar Point ID, which all employees do. You can actually do like Sandusky public transportation. So like there's a bus that'll take you to like the areas with all the shopping in it, so you can go grocery shopping and stuff. So if you don't have a car, it's not the end of the world. Plus, you're probably gonna meet friends with cars, and then you can be like, oh hey, like if you're going to Kroger, can I tag along? Like it's okay. You become friends with like everybody, and then at that point, it's like it's fine. Like these people became my best friends. I don't care if we ride to work together. Uniform and such. Basically, as a ride operator, I wore white shoes, and I'll talk about the ride operator stuff more in that video because I don't want to bore people that are going to be in foods. But I will say, like, we wore white shoes and they got dirty really quick. I was at Corkscrew, so if you work at Cedar Point and you know what I'm talking about, I was at Corkscrew, which your shoes are gonna get dirty because you're popping pedals, but I'll talk about that later. There's a building called Wardrobe. It's in a weird part of the park where you're not really in the park, and it's in between like hotel breakers and then the park. So it's like really weird. If you know where Bistro is, it's by there, whatever. Anyway, you go there and you get your uniform, and I will say on the pants, size up, because I requested a size that I normally am, and they were just so tight on my thighs. I will say I got smaller throughout my experience at Cedar Point, so then I ended up getting a smaller size, but size up, you can always change like your sizes and stuff at Wardrobe. You just need to turn in what you had. That's fine. And then when you leave working at Cedar Point, you turn in both shirts and both pants. Laundry situation, there's washers and dryers. I'm afraid to use, obviously. It was hard to get one though, because there was like not that many for the whole building, so it was kind of a pain. You kind of had to wait a lot. Or for your uniform, I know that if you take it to Wardrobe, they'll exchange it for a clean one, so you can do that. The job itself, I will say us ride operators, and I don't know the schedule for a lot of other people, but we got a lot of hours. You know, if you OC, that means you start when the park opens and you end when the park closes. Open, close. If you O4, you open and then get off at 4. If you 4C, you get there at 4 and you close. Yeah, but that was like the general things. I will say, like, you make money. Like, if you want to work and you get the hours, like, you will make money, period. You do have to pay for housing, so if you do live there, like, they just take it out of your check. So it's not like you're paying a bill, essentially. It's already coming out of your check, so you're not getting that money anyway. You're not seeing it, really. So if, like, your check's, like, $1,200, the housing was about $168, I think, for the 2 weeks. It comes out every 2 weeks. So you're getting, you know, whatever. But, like, it comes out anyway, so it's kind of just, like, another thing. And I think it was, like, $10 to $12 a day. For housing, $12 sounds right. I don't know. So if you're making $15 an hour, you're essentially working an hour for free every day, but don't think about it that way because that'll make you depressed. It's fine, you still make money, like basically there all summer making money, so. Now I will say, you are working a lot, but the next thing I want to talk about is like the friendships, the things to do, what do you do like when you're not working? Okay, a lot of the videos on YouTube said like, oh yeah, you're gonna be working the whole time, you're gonna have no time. I disagree. I did have Saturdays and Sundays off, so I was lucky. So if I was at home, I was spending my Saturdays or my Sundays just at the park. You can get in the park for free, obviously whenever you want. Like, it's not like you can only get there when you're working. You can get the park whenever you want. You literally just scan in your ID and you're at the park. You go in just like you'd be going in for work, but you're a guest. There are ride nights, so those are basically like, park closes at 10, and then like at like 10:30 or 11, basically you and like everybody who works at Cedar Point could like go ride. So if it was like Millennium Force ride night, everybody could ride Millennium Force, and there was like a little bit of free food and there was games. Basically like fun. And we would look forward to those. They were every Monday night after work. We would all kind of like get together and then like go ride rides. And that's how I met a lot of my friends. A lot of the people there are like age, like there are minors that work there, but 18 to like 25. Obviously you can be older, you can be younger, but like everybody was kind of the close to the same age. So you became friends with like everybody pretty much. It's crazy the amount of people I knew. Like towards the end, the amount of people I knew and the amount of friends I met was crazy. I met so many people from Ohio, Michigan, and then internationals. There are so many internationals. I have a great friend from Colombia, Barcelona, Ecuador, Turkey, Thailand, like people from everywhere. Kazakhstan, I think I said that right. Shout out to Dan. Like everybody there was so cool. We all became friends. In the beginning of the season, the park wasn't open on Tuesdays or Wednesdays, so we were all off. So like Tuesday night we'd go to karaoke. There's a bar called Louie's. You can get it in if you're under 21, but you have to pay. But like on Tuesday nights we'd all go and like sing karaoke. And then towards the middle of the season, it was harder to like all hang out like as a big group. People who owe forward and got off at 4 like all hung out for the rest of the day. Like when you become friends with these people and you realize, hey, I only have the summer with them, you spend a lot of time with them and become close. I actually like got together with a couple of my Cedar Point friends that like we all live far away from each other, but we kind of like met up and hung out for a weekend. If you want to make the effort to like see these people again, you will. Like everybody's super cool, and like I got lucky with the crew and like the people I worked with because like we all like became friends. Things to do in Sandusky. So Sandusky, I mean, pretty much has Cedar Point, but what else do they have? There's Put-in Bay that's close by. Obviously you're on the lake. We've taken trips to Cleveland. There's a Kalahari, there's a Great Wolf Lodge, there's Castaway Bay, which is a part of Cedar Point. There's multiple like bowling places, there's an arcade, a couple arcade, there's a lot like to do. When you're working at Cedar Point, I will say like Cedar Point itself has a beach, so like on days I was off, I'd go to the beach, get a suntan, I'd go to the water park. There's an arcade at Cedar Point. There's games at Cedar Point, obviously there's a bunch of restaurants. So there's things to do at the park, but obviously there's stuff off the park too. If you take the time to figure out like things to do, you will not be bored, I promise. At the housing place, I forgot to mention this, it's called the ARC, it's the Associate Recreation Center. There's a volleyball court, there's soccer, there's basketball, pool, there's a bunch of TVs. Things you can do, people hang out there too. Merchandise, you get, I mean, okay, you don't have to get a lot of merch, but I became like so like into it. I was like, let me get all the merch. So this was the shirt they gave all the employees for free when I first got there my first day. They gave me this. And then I'm gonna show you guys all of the t-shirts and like clothing items I bought because why not? So here are some of the merch that I've gathered. I worked on corkscrews. So this is the shirt I got. This was my corkscrew t-shirt. I loved it. Loved working on that ride. I'll talk about that more in the next video. Then I bought a rain jacket because they give you free rain jackets, but I wanted a cute one because I'm extra. So this is the rain jacket I bought. I got this like really like when I first got there because I really liked it. And we get a discount in the shops obviously because yeah, we work there. The Cedar Point Nights t-shirt. It was like basically this festival, like this music festival on the beach, and like it was just really fun. So I went to that, and it was for the guests to like go to, but obviously you could go to anywhere as a guest. And then I got this Millennium Force shirt. I got this shirt because I thought it was sweet, so I bought this too. I didn't realize how much I had bought like over the summer. It's kind of embarrassing. This was my favorite roller coaster. It's because it freaks me out like the most, so I got this shirt. I want to work at that one next year, honestly. And then I got this crew neck because I thought it was really cute. So yeah, I definitely gathered too many clothes while I was there. I also have a black pair of running shorts because one day after work, I got off work early and didn't pack any clothes. You can't ride rides in your uniform. So I was like, well, I'm just gonna go buy shorts. So then I bought like a black pair of Cedar Point shorts. I don't know where those are. And then I also got a shirt from like, we had this like Camp Big Bash. It's basically a party thing for all the employees. So I don't know where that's at either, but yeah, those are the t-shirts I bought. I'm gonna talk about buttons because you can buy like buttons. Like, it's a thing, I guess. I'm gonna talk about that in my ride operator video. All right, and suggestions and plans for next year. If college allows it, I would totally go back. 100%, I would work in ride operations again. I loved it. If you're deciding on where to work, just go ride operations, trust me. Obviously this year was the year we didn't have Dragster. Wicked Twister had just gotten tore down, so we lost 2 coasters this year. And so like during the whole season, we were like trying to figure out like what's happening to Dragster. Guests would ask us and we really couldn't answer on that. So I'm excited to figure out what's happening to Dragster. And I'm gonna shut up now and let you guys carry on through the day. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys apply to Cedar Point. I hope to see you if we both work there. If you guys like this video, give it a big thumbs up. If you have any more questions about Cedar Point, please just leave them down below, or you can even DM me on Instagram. I would love to talk to you about it. It's all I talk about. You can ask anybody back home. All I talk about is roller coasters. I just miss it so much. Be sure to stay tuned for more Cedar Point videos, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.